আপদে নন্দ কিশোর অর্পিল তো আপদে নন্দ কিশোর সম্পদে বিপদে জীবনে মরণে সম্পদে বিপদে দায় মম গেলা তুয়া পদবরণে দায় মম গেলা তুয়া পদবরণে মারবি রাখবি जो इच्छा तुम्हार मारबीर नित्य दासपति तु अधिकार नित्य तु अधिकार जन्मय इच्छा যদি তোর জন্ময়ে বিময়ে ইচ্ছা যদি তোর ভক্ত গৃহে জানি জন্ম হও মোর ভক্ত গৃহে জানি জন্ম হও মোর কীট জনম হও যথা তু আদাস কীট জনম যথা তু আদাস বহির্মুখ ব্রহ্মা জন্মে নাহি আস বহির্মুখ ব্রহ্মা জন্মে নাহি আস ভুক্তি মুক্তি স্পৃহা বিহীন যে ভকত ভুক্তি মুক্তি স্পৃহা বিহীন যে ভকত লভিয়ে তত সঙ্গ অনুরক্ত লভিত এতে সঙ্গ অনুরক্ত জনক জননী দয়িত তনয় জনক জননী দয়িত তনয় প্রভু গুরুপতি তুহু সর্বময় প্রভু গুরুপতি তুহু সর্বময় ভকতি বিনোদ কহে শুন কানা ভকতি বিনোদ কহে শুন কানা রাধানাথ তুহু আমার পরাণ রাধানাথ তুহু আমার পরাণ মানস দেহ গেহ जो किछु मोर मानस देह गो जो किछु मोर अर्पिलो तु आपदे नंद किशोर अर्पिलो तु आपदे नंद किशोर हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Vrindavana Dham Jaya Jaya Lalita Vishakha Jaya Radhe Shyam Lalita Vishakha Jaya Radhe Shyam Nittai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Nittai Gaura Hari Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada Jaya 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 Gurudev 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 Srila Gurudev नित्यलड़ प्रविष्ट जयं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की नित्यलड़ प्रविष्ट जयं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत गोस्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद महाराज की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय श्री श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय श्री श्री पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय श्री श्री द्वारका धाम की जय श्री श्री बद्रिका धाम की जय श्री श्री अयोध्या धाम की जय श्री श्री कृष्ण भक्ति पदायिनी श्री श्री वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय जय श्री श्री गंगा मैया की जय जय श्री श्री जमुना मैया की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जुग धर्म श्री श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्री श्री हरे कृष्णा महामंत्र की जय। उपस्थित समस्त भक्त वृंद की जय। ऑल गोइज टू assembled devotees हरे कृष्णा। ऑल गोइज टू assembled devotees हरे कृष्णा। ऑल गोइज टू assembled devotees हरे कृष्णा। ऑल गोइज टू श्री गुरुवान गौरांग शिल प्रभुपाद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। Hare Krishna. So today is a very auspicious day. So all of us are celebrating Makar Sankranti, right? So obviously all of you have already heard in the morning program that they announced that from today onwards the sun will move towards the north, like there is northern Uttarayana. So it is very auspicious, okay? And you can see the sun was very bright also today. After a long time, you could say very bright sunlight, and there is some sense of little warmth, right? So on this very auspicious day also in different places people celebrate in different ways. Basically in Orissa, what our place people do, they fly some kites, because the wind also direction changes, and there is a special type of offering which is offered to Lord Radhacharan Sundarji and Krishna Ballamji. So it is called Makar Chawal. Chawal means rice. So it is not actually cooked. It is raw rice which is mixed with some vegetables. Fruits like banana and oranges and apples. They are cut into very small pieces, and then with little jaggery and little ginger, very nicely they prepare it and offer it to the Lord. And very tasty it is, So that is a special way. Different people celebrate in different ways. So it was just coming to my mind. So maybe some of us will relish that Makar Chawal, it is called. So I will like to read the translation what I sang today, because today's topic is actually related to this. So I will read the translation. Kindly hear very attentively. So the first is says Manasa Deha Geha Jo Kichimar. So mind, body and family, whatever may be mine, I have surrendered at your lotus feet, O youthful son of Nanda. So who is written this? It is from Saranagati. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he has written this song. So it is very, so today's topic also it is related to how one has to surrender to the super soul. So I hope the last class all of you must have heard. And they to deal with the second verse of that context. So that I thought maybe we can hear or we can meditate something on the process of Saranagati. So here Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying whatever my mind, body and even family or wealth, whatever possessions I have, so everything should be surrendered at the lotus feet of the Nandan, Krishna. So then in good fortune or bad fortune, in life or death, all my difficulties I have disappeared, because I have chosen those lotus feet of yours as my only shelter. So there is here the word is keyword the only. That is, there is no other shelter. So the lotus feet of the Lord, which is considered like a boat to cross over this nescience, this material world. So here Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, so in both the situations, good or bad, or it's maybe even at the time of death, So I must remember those lotus feet and surrender. And the third one says, slay me. This is still more important. And most of these things you will find in Sikshastakam also. So this particular is very important because slay me or protect me as you wish, for you are the master of your eternal servant. So similar sloka comes in Sikshastakam, the last verse, aslisya padaratam pinastuma adarsanar karma marmahata karotavam jatha tathava vidadhatu lampadam atmanam. So who can do this? Who can sing this? Only Srimati Radharani. If any difficulty comes in our life, immediately we give up the hope, right? Whether Krishna will, of course Krishna tests us like anything. It's like many of us have difficulties while even practicing our devotional service, especially I shall not discuss this, but we are facing, since I am also partly involved in the management, so many new challenges. Vrindavan is very tough. Maharaj was mentioning yesterday's class, or Swayam Bhagavan Maharaj, he was telling, here we presume ki I will do this, I will read that, I will do this, but once we come here, our mind totally, suddenly something happens. I heard from many exalted devotees, they also say, it's a fact, it's very difficult. So unless we have the fully taken shelter of the Acharya, all the Acharyas, all the Vaishnavas who have successfully gone back to Godhead, and they made their life successful, and especially the spiritual master who has revealed this dham to us, and by his mercy only we can survive. So one Prabhuji is sitting right here. He was asking me a few days back, Prabhuji, I like your Bhagavad Gita classes. I meant to say our ISKCONs, and also is to some other. So it's like that. So mind is always a duality situation. That's what it says. So this is very important to meditate on. Without surrender, the whole Bhagavad Gita, it's the whole discussion is what? Saranagati, surrender. And the end also, today also we'll hear how to surrender to the super soul. And the next session, that is verse 65, which is considered the essence of Bhagavad Gita, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakta, very famous verse. And then Sarva-dharman Parityaja. Those two will be the concluding verses. So we are almost approaching towards the conclusion. That's why I thought of singing this Saranagati. So the fourth one, it says, if it is your will that I be born again. This is still deeper. It's really, I was sharing this with one of my friends. He said, better don't utter this. Think many times before what you were saying. So I was just telling, so if it is your will that I will be born again, then maybe it is in the home of your devotee. No, it's the next one actually. So this is a very nice thing. Everybody wants to get the association of devotees. Even the monkeys here, all the animals who are born here in Vrindavan, they are so fortunate. They are getting opportunity to take Krishna Prasadam, hearing Hari Kirtan, and they sometimes trouble devotees, but whatever it is, they get always in constant association. Especially the dust of this Vrindavan, it is so purifying. Even by touching this dust, all their sinful reactions will vanquish, because Krishna personally arranges for their living here. And they get the next life, they get the opportunity in the devotee's house. This is what it means. And the fifth one says, may I be born again, even as a, this is the one I wanted, as a worm. Worm means stool worm, even that level. So long I may remain your devotee. So ultimately it's devotee, whether in devotee's house or as a devotee, in any form of 84 lakh species of life, any form of body. I have no desire to be born as a Brahma averse to you. Very important again, because you have to do 100 lifetimes varnashram dharma perfectly to get the Brahma post. It is so difficult. But if that Brahma, of course our Brahma is a pure devotee, but sometimes Brahma also get illusioned by Lord's, though he is also Gunavatar. So to teach us, Krishna puts Brahma also in illusion. So there it is said, even somebody is averse to Krishna, so that life is also condemned. I don't want that. So I yearn for the company of that devotee. This is still more specific, who is completely devoid of all desire of worldly enjoyments. That means, or liberation. Even he doesn't want liberation. That means he meant to say most of our acharyas, most of our gurus in ISKCON, and especially our Sansthapak Acharya Srila Prabhupada ji and our spiritual master. So we need their association. Just like Narottam Das Thakur sings, Ramachandra Sangamage Narottam Das. So even if it is a one association, let it be, because we intermingle with so many devotees, but we should associate with one. Then it will be, our progress will be faster. So then says, father, mother, lover, son, lord, preceptor, and husband, you are everything to me. So this is also in Bhagavad Gita, Mata, Dhata, Pitamha, everything is the Lord, that is full surrender. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, O Kana, the nickname of Krishna, please hear me, O Lord of Radha, you are my life and soul. Very deeper contemplation we should make. This is one of the prayers which inspired many of these who are very serious in the practicing Krishna consciousness. So we will start with the today's verse. I think it is 62 today, 1862. Getting late. So so this section, actually we have been hearing this 61, 62 and 63. These three verses, it says how to surrender to the super soul. So this is if you see the Jogo ladder, in the Jogo ladder there are different stages. It starts from the Vikarmis, then Sakam Karma Bhakta, then Niskam Karma Yoga Karma Bhaktas, and then above that is the Sadhan Siddha Bhaktas, and then Bhava Bhakti, Prema Bhakti. Like that the ladder goes on. So we are almost at the top of the ladder, and this is the fifth part of the section of the Joga ladder, where it is, as I said, how to surrender to the super soul. Yesterday you have already heard. I will also discuss briefly how that yesterday's sloka we can connect. And so today's sloka, let us recite. Tam eva śaraṇaṁ gaccha sarva-bhāvena bhārata tat-prasādāt parāṁ śāntiṁ sthānam prāpsyasi śāśvatam tameva śaraṇaṁ gaccha sarva-bhāvena bhārata tat-prasādāt parāṁ śāntiṁ sthānam prāpsyasi śāśvatam tameva śaraṇaṁ gaccha sarva-bhāvena bhārata tat-prasādāt parāṁ śāntiṁ sthānam prāpsyasi śāśvatam. Please repeat. Tameva śaraṇaṁ gaccha sarva-bhāvena bhārata tat-prasādāt parāṁ śāntiṁ sthānam prāpsyasi śāśvatam. Tameva śaraṇaṁ gaccha sarva-bhāvena bhārata tat-prasādāt parāṁ śāntiṁ sthānam prāpsyasi śāśvatam. Mataji? Anybody? Tameva śaraṇaṁ gaccha sarva-bhāvena bhārata tat-prasādāt parāṁ śāntiṁ sthānam prāpsyasi śāśvatam. What word meaning? Tam, unto him. Eva, suddenly. Śaraṇaṁ gaccha, surrender. Sarva-bhāvena, in all respects. Bharata, O son of Bharata. Tat-prasādāt, by his grace. Parāṁ, transcendental. Śāntiṁ, peace. Sthānam, the abode. Prāpsyasi, you will get. Śāśvatam, eternal. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. O son of Bharata, surrender unto Him utterly. By His grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. Please repeat. O son of Bharata, surrender unto Him utterly. By His grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and the eternal abode. Purport. A living entity should therefore surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart, and that will relieve him from all kinds of miseries of this material existence. By such surrender, not only will one be released from all miseries in this life, but at the end he will reach the Supreme God. The transcendental world is described in the Vedic literature in the Rig Veda. Om tad viṣṇoḥ paramam padam sada pasyanti surayah divibham chakshur atatam tad viprasa vipanyabo jagribham sa samindyate viṣṇurjat paramam padam. Since all of creation is the kingdom of God, everything material is actually spiritual. But paramam padam specifically refers to the eternal abode, which is called the spiritual sky or Vaikuṇṭha. In the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is stated, Sarvasya chaham hrudi sannivishta matta smutirjnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvairahameva vedya vedanta krit vedamchaham. So, it is actually partially written. I wrote the whole sloka. The Lord is seated in everyone's heart. So, this recommendation that one should surrender unto the super soul sitting within means that one should surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna has already been accepted by Arjuna as the Supreme. He was accepted in the 10th chapter as Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Puruṣam śāśvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. So Arjuna has accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the supreme abode of all living entities. Not only because of his personal experience, but also because of the evidence of great authorities like Narada, Asita, Devala and Vyasa. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Visakhan Vitamsa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanda Radhakanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpataruvescha Krupa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratasi Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Bhasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karati vācālam, pangam langhayate girim, jatkapātamah vande, Sri Gurum Dinatarinam, Sri Chaitanya Iswaram. Hare Krishna. So, again, I am very not qualified to speak on this subject matter because many exalted Vaishnavas are here. Our Prabhuji is behind. So he guided me last time also. There are a couple of corrections. So I'll try my best to follow Prabhuji. Thank you very much for your comment. And actually we are the beginners as far as I am concerned. Somehow Dharmata Prabhu every day he finds if nobody is there, then he'll put my name. So I am like the 12th man in the team. So you can imagine if a substitute player will come, what he will play. Either he will talk something bogus which nobody can understand, they'll go to sleep, or they may do something else. So let's start with the topic. All of you have been hearing the concluding chapter. It is called Moksha Yoga, the renunciation, perfection of renunciation. So we are almost approaching towards the last part, as I said, and the essence of these words, as we can see, the essence is obviously Krishna is giving Arjuna. Already he has told in 7, 8 and 9 chapter the confidential, more confidential, the most confidential knowledge. So there also he has told like Manmana Bhava Bhakta in the 9th chapter last verse. And again he is going to repeat it on the 65th. We'll be hearing after a couple of days. So in this particular verse, here we are hearing, see, this is about more confidential knowledge. The most is 65, 66. This is also the more confidential knowledge. So, and it says how to take the shelter of the super soul by just understanding or acquiring this more confidential knowledge which Krishna is revealing in through this sloka. And that is, actually Krishna is giving his own view in these two verses. 61 you have already heard, where I hope you must have understood or remembered that essence of the previous verse. Ishvaraha sarva-bhūtānaṁ hridesya arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva-bhūtāni jantra-rudhani mayaya. Very famous sloka. So Prabhupada quotes this many times. And the other sloka we read in the Purport, sarvasya chaham hrudi sannivishta matta smritirganam. There also the super soul is described. So many people, they ask us, where is the super soul? So hridesya Arjuna. So we have already seen. So there Krishna is telling Arjuna, depending on the desire or the karma of a jiva or the soul, he is forced to take birth in the body. I'm just giving a conclusion as per the previous acharyas like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Baldev Vidyabhushan, because Prabhupada has taken most of his commentaries. As you can see, if you go through their commentary, she's almost 70 to 80% is from Baldev Vidyabhushan and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Obviously, that's why he dedicated the Bhagavad Gita, to Baldev Vidyabhushan, right? So there we see Krishna is telling, he actually gives order to the Maya Devi, that is the external energy. So this jiva has done this karma, he has all the records, Krishna has all the records, and accordingly arrange a yantra. Yantra means a machine, okay, so which is suitable for his karma and his desire, the way he wants to enjoy that particular body. So, and then Maya Devi arranges, and she like all the senses, all the I mean to say the 10 life airs and all the 24 elements accordingly in such a way Mahadevi arranges so that Jiva can fulfill his desire. Simultaneously, Krishna is very kind to give opportunity through various scriptures, through his devotees, through his deities and dham, the holy name. So many things Krishna also give the opportunity for his deliverance as well. So that then Mayadevi, what she does is, she creates a body and puts the soul in the body, and then this concept actually Arjuna had already understood. Arjuna had previous knowledge. So why these two slokas Krishna is telling to Arjuna? Because Arjuna had partial understanding, because the other two slokas are coming up, the most confidential knowledge, right? There Krishna will give the full disclosure that one should surrender to Krishna, not the super soul, because super soul is partial realization, sat and chit, not the ananda part, obviously. So then Krishna orders to Mahadevi. Then Krishna is telling Arjuna, no, your knowledge is not complete. You are just still your knowledge is limited. That is why you are thinking you know everything. You know everything, which is not the fact. What is that everything? That everything is I am the doer. Arjuna is still thinking there is only one doer. So already many other slokas have been stated. There are, in the particular in this chapter, you have heard in the 14th verse, where there are 5 factors involved in any action, right? So out of that, so there are 3 doers basically. The jiva or the soul, it desires, and the nature, material nature, it arranges the upkaran, means they're the instruments, all the things which are required for the action. But ultimately, it is the super soul who is considered as the upadashta or anumanta, right? So without super soul sanction, nothing can happen. That is what Krishna is telling in this last verse. You have heard already that don't think you are the doer. You are the doer, of course, and material nature is also the doer, but the ultimate doer is the super soul. Why? So Krishna is asking Arjuna, go deeper and go just contemplate. But at the time of death, the jiva forgets everything. Jiva forgets everything. Nothing he remembers, because he changes the body, right? But the super soul who accompanies the soul, he is that the acts as a witness, right? So he remembers what are the previous desire, what are the karma, everything. So accordingly he directs the maya. So everything is done by super soul. And also without the sanction of super soul, the jiva cannot do anything. That is also, that means he is dependent. He is not independent at all. That is what Krishna is telling in this verse. Since you have no independence, you are completely dependent, so you have no other option but to surrender. That is the previous verse you have heard, right? So in this sloka, in continuity actually, so the ultimate doer is the super soul. That's what you have a background. And here he is saying, if you arrange the sloka, tam eva, tam means super soul. Actually, Srila Prabhupada in his Purport, he meant this tam as the Supreme Personality. I hope you have heard, you have remembered this. The super soul, Prabhupada says, it is not the Paramatma. It is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Eva means only. And then śaraṇaṁ gaccha is very clear, surrender. Sarva-bhāvena. Sarva-bhāvena, different acharyas give different things. So sarva-bhāvena means, sarva means everything, bhāvena means it's a full devotion. Vishwanath Thakur, he says, with full devotion. And the same thing in a different way, as told by Baldev Vidyabhushan, he said, what I sang in the song, Manasa Deha Geha Jo Kichhi Maro. The body, mind, words, whatever possession we have, everything we have to surrender. That is called sarva-bhāvena. Then Bharata. Bharata means in the Bharat dynasty. Arjuna was born in the dynasty of King Bharat. So that's why he's addressed as Bharat. And then tat-prasādāt, paramaṁ, śāntiṁ. Prasada means mercy, and parām means the supreme, śāntim. That sloka I heard, I sang, Om tad viṣṇoḥ param padam sada pasyanti. So the essence of that sloka is, it is actually very auspicious. Our DT department, our Mukunda Prabhu, he had given a very nice article. I was going through the Facebook. His name is in the first, So it is before after doing tilak, we also recite this mantra. So the meaning is all the devatas or devotees, they look at the spiritual sky, Lord Vishnu. So they are continuously meditating, they are looking in their heart, by their jnana chakshu, at the Lord Vishnu's form. Om tad Vishnu paramam padam. And paramam padam means the supreme abode, that is a Vaikuṇṭha planet. And how it is like the rays of the sun. This is a dazzling. So one time His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj, one devotee asked Maharaj, ki the spiritual world is like this light, dazzling? Maharaj said, no, it's not like that exactly. So it is like more or less like this material world, but consciousness is different. Everybody is engaged in Krishna's service. That is what it means. It is internal thing, not the external dazzling part. Of course, it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, there is no need of light, electricity or sun and moon. Jadgatvanam nirvartante tadhama paramam mama. So, na tad bhasayate surya, na satsanka na pavakaha, jadgatat. So that sloka is there. So then, if you arrange, and then last is, then sthānam, prāpsyasi, then śāśvatam. Śāśvatam sthānam prāpsyati. You arrange this, it will be like that. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he also, Baldev Vidyaswami, he arranges this sloka. If you make it a straight one, so it is like this: Bharata, he was Bharat Bansi Arjun, tam eva śaraṇaṁ gaccha. So only to the super soul you surrender. How to surrender? So then he said, sarva-bhāvena. Sarva-bhāvena means in full devotion, with fully body, mind and words, like sannyasis, they fully surrender. And then tat-prasādāt, by his mercy. Actually Prabhupada meant again Krishna's mercy, the same thing. Then śāśvatam sthānam prāpsyasi. So by his mercy, what you will get, what you will achieve? The ultimate destination. So actually that is the essence. The means, this sloka says what is the one of the means to achieve the supreme abode of Godhead. We call in ISKCON word going back to Godhead. So this sloka is very vital for all of us. So surrender, as I said, either to super soul or it may be to Swayam Bhagavan, that is Lord Krishna. So and why Krishna? One may ask, why Krishna? The Acharyas, they say, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So actually he says, this is the, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, it is not more confident, it is also most confidential. So why? Because by just getting this knowledge that one has to surrender to the super soul, what Krishna has instructed so far, all the vidya and avidya. Avidya means nescience, these material things, and also vidya. Both are burnt into ashes. So once both are finished, vidya and avidya, so what remains is the transcendental knowledge. So that is required, that is the purest platform from where one is ready to enter the Vaikuṇṭha planet. That is what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says. He says already Arjuna has accepted Krishna in second chapter. What is that sloka? The last says Mam Tvam Prapannam. Sishyasteham Mam Tvam Prapannam. So I am your disciple, now you instruct whatever what is good for me. So then Krishna starts instructing. So here also Krishna says to Arjun, for your beneficial, I am telling this. So finally he says, surrender unto me. So this similar thing is seen in Srimad Bhagavatam, where you say 11th canto, 22nd or 29th maybe, I think 29, 6th verse. It says, Uddhava says, very famous verse. Most of us, we know there are two gurus. One is Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, but another we have, of course, Pathapadarsa Guru. But Chaitya Guru is the Paramatma, same Chaitya Guru manifest as our spiritual master. Right? That sloka is very famous. Actually, it is there in the laptop. Sorry, I could not open. So the meaning is, Uddhava is telling, even the biggest of the sages, rishis, and those who are very advanced transcendentally, spiritually very advanced, if they try their best in the entire duration of Lord Brahma, that is 100 years, last, we know how big it is, some 3 trillion, 11 billion, some big figure it is. So even that period, if they try, they cannot ascertain the indebtedness of the jiva towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is, that means Lord is inconceivable. That's what they say, and Uddhava is telling. And this, then he says, even they do that, they cannot be successful because Krishna appears as the same, two features. One is externally and internally. So internally is the super soul, external is the spiritual master. So point is like what we are discussing today. So if you see practically, how many of us have realization of super soul? Not many of us. Unless our mind is fully controlled, we cannot even perceive the presence of the super soul. It is very difficult. So the best thing is, there is no difference between surrendering to the super soul or surrendering to the spiritual master. So what our acharyas, they recommend us, don't try to immediately go for the super soul, which is very difficult even for the great souls. So the best thing is to surrender to the Guru, Acharya, our spiritual master. So I was just remembering a couple of years back, I was instructed by my spiritual master to start a project here in Vrindavan. And as all of you know, many of our acharyas like Gaur Gobind Swami Maharaj, Radhacharan Swami Maharaj, most of our current gurus and those who have, some of them have left us. So they have been instructed particularly by Srila Prabhupada, and many of them has done some projects. So similarly, I was I could not understand what my Guru Maharaj, how seriously he said, you just discontinue here whatever seva you are doing and just start that project. I just remained silent, and one day he chastised me so heavily. For 6 months he didn't speak to me practically. And then all my sadhana, everything started tottling, and it was like in a hellish condition in Vrindavan, what I am doing. So I was wondering. So then one day I dared to call him. Then he told this particular thing, that I was testing how much you are surrendering to your Guru. So you have your own interest, you have some selfish, some facilities you are getting from the temple. That's why Vrindavan is international center. You'll get so many people will say, Hare Krishna, you have got a good post here. So you are attached to that, but you are not here. So that day onwards, really I am sharing with you, because many of you will have this situation in your life as well. So if we slightly deviate from the instruction of the Guru, see, normally Guru, spiritual master doesn't instruct as long as he is sure my disciple is surrendered. So but once the instruction comes and we are unable to follow, then our bhakti will follow in the reverse direction. It's really tough, I have seen. So many disciples, they go to Gurudev and please instruct me, what should I do? So normally most of the spiritual masters, they say follow Prabhupada, whatever he said. But if the particular instruction has been given, see, Prabhupada also got the instruction, it took 40 years, more than 43 years they say, to execute it. But we cannot have a negative thing and just totally forget it. He was trying his best. And many of his followers, Prabhupada disciples and his disciples and great-grand disciples, the first, second generation, third generation sannyasis, we can see they are very focused in their position. Now in fact the sannyas diksha is given only you have a project. So like that, he has some vision, the Guru has some vision in his mind, but the disciple, if he flatly refuses, and it's a very disastrous situation. So then, by Krishna's blessings, I am now involved. Actually, it has restarted. So I can see how much change has come in my devotional practice. It was really struggling those days, but now I am getting the mercy. I can visualize the progress. What was blocking my path of devotion? So that's why surrendering to Guru. So unless we surrender to Guru, because there is no difference. Gaur Gobind Swami Maharaj has written a very nice book on Vyas Puja. So I was reading it a few days back. Is worshipping the lotus feet. All of you must read that. Very nicely we sing Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sarva. Just one sentence he has written, maybe around 30 pages. A very beautiful description how the lotus feet of the Sri Guru, it gives the nectar that in form of the honey. He exactly is Padma. Padma means lotus, and honey is Madhu, Padma Madhu. It is so nectarian. But what are the qualifications required to get that? It is still more very. So please read that book by Gaur Govind Sai Maharaj. It was one of the famous book which he has published, and so in that many aspects are there, and he was a perfect, and his disciple actually today it was announced, I think, Dhruva Maharaj. He was such a great soul. He was a pure devotee of Lord Jagannath. He has written many books on Lord Jagannath, and yesterday night he had darshan of his guru, and he gave a class, and then he came to Vrindavan Dham. He had a railway ticket 2 days back. He was in Orissa. Then, of course, 7 years, for last 7 years, he had some issues, and he has to change his ashram. But even in any ashram, a pure devotee is a pure devotee. So he came and just lying down, and he departed in a sleeping condition. So and he was very dear to his Guru Maharaj, Gaur Govind Sai Maharaj. So Maharaj has many contributions. So we are just contemplating how fortunate he is to give of his life in Braj. And so many days, he had very nice contribution for ISKCON Bhubaneswar. His Gaur Govind Sai Maharaj, in that project he made, and the desire of Srila Prabhupada, which is the last stone, cornerstone of Prabhupada, was 1977, was this Bhubaneswar project. So that is the evidence that how a pure devotee departs, So many things we can contemplate, like how important it is to surrender to the spiritual. Unless we surrender to spiritual master, there is no question of surrendering to Krishna. So we should be very faithful. We should be like Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He is very humbly requesting all of us, and he is playing our part actually, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And let's just conclude what Baldev Vidyabhushan says. He also says this sloka, sarva-bhāvena. He also describes his body, mind, and the other elements. And there is not much difference. The only thing he says, Krishna is telling Arjuna, you have already told twice. Once in the 10th chapter, once in the 15th chapter. 10th chapter, 12th verse, you have to param brahma param dhama pavitram paramam bhavan. That means Arjuna has already described Krishna as param brahma param dhama, and also in 11th chapter, Krishna directly showed Arjuna his Vishwarupa. So all these things Arjuna has already seen. So now in the concluding part, Krishna is telling, so since you have already, not only you have the realization, but all the other munis like Narada, Devala, Asita, that next sloka, 10.13. So they have also realized me. So then what is the next thing is you have to surrender. So that is how Baldev Vidyabhushan he mentions in his commentary regarding this verse. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Jaiva Dharma also, all of us we know that famous sloka, Anukulasya Sankalpam, Pratikulasya Varjanam, then Rakshasyati iti Vishwasa Guptrute Varanam Tatha, then Atmanivedanam Karpanyam Sadavid Saranagati. So this sloka all of us know. So there is in Jaiva Dharma. So many of us, we struggle in the Pratikulasya Varjanam, especially many youngsters, and then the faith. Ultimately, what is surrender means? The complete faith. When the faith matures to 100%, it is called Prema Bhakti. It is nothing different from. So, if you see, go for the scriptures, many examples are there of Saranagati, which you will be hearing from other devotees. So, the Pandavas, they were fully surrendered even in the difficult situation. They never forgot Krishna, and Krishna was always staying with them. Even in spite of Krishna's presence also, they never asked Krishna for any material favor. So they were so surrendered, they are simply satisfied with Krishna. And the Sabari, the great example in Ramayana. She sacrificed her youth, her entire, every day, practically she used to wait. She used to go to the forest, get plug all very nice fragrant flowers and the fruits she used to collect. And from almost her ashram, actually she was instructed by her Gurudev to have the patience, and she was tested for a long period. And every day she will wait, when Lord Ram will come, when Lord Ram will come. But it took a long period, and then finally Lord Ram came. So what was in her was the humility. So that same sloka which we read in by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has instructed us, Trunadapi Sunichana Tarureva Sahishnun Amanena Manadena. Amanena Manadena is the main thing. Then automatically humility will come. So if some devotee offends us, or some he says little different way, we immediately feel. So that desire is there very much, that to get that respect. So that has to be the only. That's why we should beg. ओहे वैष्णव ठाकुर दयार सागर एदासे करुणा करी दिय पद छाया शोधोय आमारा तुम्हारा चरण धरी क्षय वेगदमी क्षय दश सधी क्षय गुण देह दासे क्षय सतसंग देह. So this 24 things, many classes it inspired me, because in that everything is there, So so that every humility, everything, it comes from the Guru. So in the first year also, Gurudev Krupa Bindu Diya Karo Edase Trunapakhyatihino. So again the Guru. That's why you should surrender to Guru. Guru Padasra is the foundation. Prabhupada Padasra, Guru Padasra. There are 10 gates according to nectar of devotion. If these two are weak, whatever way we can do other things very nicely, but these two are weak, means we cannot progress at all. So similarly, Bali Maharaj, he surrendered entire his body, his possession, everything had already given. So last thing is he possessed himself, he surrendered. So then Lord became his housekeeper and a gatekeeper. So Gajendra Maharaj, that is so many examples, the time is already getting over. So the very wonderful prayers he offered, and the last life he was Indradumna and he could remember this difficult situation. So these are the epitomes of the surrender. Of course, the gopis are the highest, where we are staying in Vrindavan Dham. And a few days back I was hearing our lecture in Balram Hall given by Jita Mitra Prabhu. So nicely he was describing. That day was the last day of Katayani Brat. So he was telling how these gopis were asked by Krishna to raise both the hands and folded arms. In those days it was so strict. This especially the girls, they were very much following the etiquettes, and how difficult it was there. But since Krishna wanted them to do in a particular way, and they did it. So that is the highest. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommends that. And the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, how surrendered they are. They are not only learned, they knew so many languages, they are financially so well placed, and how just to please the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and join him, they had a grass or a straw in their mouth, and they were just like an animal. Animal cannot, they are considering, they are showing to the society we are less than animals, so please instruct us. So those are very high examples of surrender. So you'll be hearing subsequently, so I'll stick to the time. I'll end here. Please forgive me if anything I have told out of, because this is, I don't know whether I have touched the main part of it, but these are the few commentaries I was going through. And yeah, that's what it is. And then the next verse Krishna is going to tell, Jathechhasi tatha kuru. Krishna will never touch our free will. In the 63rd verse, you'll be hearing tomorrow. That Krishna has already told the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, but again he is telling, have you understood it or not? If you have not, I am ready to tell it again. If Krishna doesn't force, we go for preaching programs, and we tell many devotees that many things, like you chant, you read Bhagavad Gita, but if they are little here, then we force them. So I was just contemplating, I was just reading this purport, I was thinking, who are we to force them? We just have to tell them, this is what the Shastra says, that of course we have to take care of their needs, we have to understand. Many things we are observing. Yesterday I went to the hostel after a long time, but I was shocked the way they have that desire. They want to be a devotee also, but which I had different impression. But I was shocked, I was surprised. The potential is very much there. So we have to follow our guru or acharya, then it will be fruitful. We have to depend on their mercy all the time. So that's what a little. So then Krishna also never interfere in the free will of the jiva. So Krishna is saying, whatever you want to do, you do. Then Arjuna, of course, he has already transformed. Because in this sloka also, in the purport, if you read, Arjuna was also arguing, no, I will not fight because of limited knowledge. That's why Krishna gave all this. Hare Krishna. Tantra Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Upasthit samasta bhakta vrinda ki jai. So please, any corrections or comments, I am not qualified to speak. Whatever, some nonsense thing came, little understanding I have. Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. He asked me, he knows I am a useless fellow. Guru more murkha dekhi karila sasan. So he thought he can't do anything because whatever he asked me to do a Vaishnava seva, that also I am unable to do. So he asked me to do preaching among the youth. Especially if you see many engineers, I'm talking about the youth part. Not only that, even after they pass out, they become grasthas, they do the job. Need that some medico has to come out. He has to step forward. Why doctors for devotional why they are now? Of course, some are there, but if you see the ratio, it is very less. And more so, the temple needs, there is a need of qualified doctors. Number of the devotees has to be taken care of very nicely so that they can serve Krishna. Though Prabhupada, in those days, it was not that, but Prabhupada never said devotees should not be taken care of. No. Prabhupada has a very high emphasis. So, at the current moment, I see the Ayurveda is totally it is disappearing, that knowledge. So, that inspired me to go to the youth. And they are reading Sanskrit. They are in the Ayurveda is the only medical science where you will find the knowledge of the soul. Yes, in Sanskrit. So all these things are there. So I thought maybe they will, and the results are I am getting positive response. So hopefully by all devotees' mercy, I will be able to be one day successful. But I have a very strong faith that behind me, the mercy and the power of my empowerment is there, my Guru Maharaj. So hopefully I'll get some other devotees to assist me also. So no, I go to other also. That's not specific because that's what I found. And many people are saying, the doctors, they are very concerned with the body. They know only bodily. Of course, it's a fact. But why not the soul? Because so they know. They are one of the most intellectual people. If you see the knowledge-wise, the memory, the intelligence, I think they are one of the cream in this society. They can know so many things. The lifetime they practice, and so much risk is involved in their life. Every second they have been challenged. There is a risk of death. There is a risk of committing a mistake. So if they are attached to the Paramatma, they can get the signal for Paramatma from Paramatma, like the devotees. So they can be a good devotee doctor, at least, isn't it? So later on they can serve this ISKCON organization. Like we need badly so many Ayurvedic doctors, very youths, and we are getting slowly good results. So hopefully a day will come, we'll have a full-fledged devotee care department. So it's a matter of time. So also other places I go, not necessarily medical, but this is one of the things just told. I also do sometimes other temple, but I am not qualified because devotees, we have to behave in a different way. So they are in a very degraded state, so it's easy to preach them, but at the same time, it's risky also. Somebody is too much deep rooted in material, these things, difficult to bring him. And especially in Braj, so many people are attached to other sampradayas. So struggle is always there. Preaching meals, it's always difficulties. So that's what I have been told. And I also took my Guru Maharaj for a few times. Also some other senior devotees, they are also going there But especially the kirtan and the prasadam, that is the good beginning for them. And definitely they can read better than other years, because they are quite matured, Many things are there. So I am also learning how to do that. But ultimately I found it's the love and care, what we give, personal care. It matters. Especially the difficult parts they have, we have to take care of the social, their financial, their psychological, their all needs. Then slowly they become devotees. Why not? Hare Krishna. Yes.
Can you directly go to the Krishna without going to Gurus?
No. It's a must.
How can I choose our Guru?
How can you?
How can I
Choose your Guru. Krishna will arrange, if you are sincere, Krishna will arrange for you a Guru. Yes. So you have to, if your main focus is to serve Krishna, you are clean in your heart. So you pray to Lord Nityananda, he is the Adi Guru or Balaram. So they will reveal to you. And many sannyasis are coming to our temple, many senior devotees. The main thing is the hearing, key is the hearing. So if you hear frequently, then your Paramatma is there, he will dictate, this person is your Nitya Guru. So you will get that signal. Then you can personally meet him, and there are many, for a year almost you'll have, and there will be, the Guru will test you, you will test also Guru. So you should be convinced that I can surrender to this person. Then only you should, that's why IDC course is there, ISKCON disciple course. You should go through that. Then slowly you'll understand why people are leaving ISKCON. Because the concept is not there. They're sentimentally coming, they have some different aim, different goal. So everything has to be clarified. But the association is the key basically. But the main thing is hearing.
I'm connected with ISKCON for 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
But recently I'm going to another Guru who doesn't belong to ISKCON, but I'm so satisfied.
You are?
I'm so fond of him for his lectures. So deeply.
So is the other, your other second one you are telling, does he belong to any sampradayas? Like we have 4 sampradayas which is authorized, like Sri Sampradaya, Kumar Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, and our is Brahma Gaudiya, Madhva Sampradaya. So out of these 4, you can, if you get the initiation, the mantra, then according to Padma Purana it is going to be effective. But in Kali Yuga there are so many apasampradayas. So there will be, in Vrindavan Dham especially, there are so many years are there. So how you will confirm? So this is the test. If he doesn't belong to any of the 4 sampradayas, I don't think it is.
He belongs to some sampradaya.
So what is that? Among these 4 you have to check. Pardon?
Some plus connections will be there.
Yeah. You cannot just, because so many people talk very flowery language, you'll easily get attracted. So Prabhupada is very categorical. You cannot, even our temple devotees, they are not allowed to. Pardon? Premanand Maharaj, this ashram. So you can find out that is your homework. Vallabh, Prabhuji, any idea? Any of you? I don't think. My assistant also, he is a pharmacist. He is also a follower of Premanand. You see, the rules are more or less similar. So their rules are similar, but unless the connectivity is there, then it is not recommended. Yeah. Because now many people are imitating ISKCON. Even we don't even recommend Akshay Patra, because they are like Ritik Badis. Ritik. So you have to be very careful. Yes. And don't put your legs in 2 different things. You choose one. You are saying this is good, that is good. So take more time. So which is the better? You choose that. Yes. Okay? This makes sense to you as answer. Thank you very much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, उपस्थित समस्त वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर सीतानाथ प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल।